Welcome back to the Dynasty Arsenal podcast. This is episode 10, double digits. Let's go.
Oh, man.
I am Sammy
Moving on
Stacks. I am Sammy Stacks, joined as always by my good friend and co-host Tags and
What up?
Tags. We're well and truly halfway through the fantasy football season, and every week I'm just reminded that I know absolutely nothing. Nobody knows anything.
That also makes me really sad that we're like halfway through the season.
I know, it goes so fast.
All I feel is like, dang, we're almost there. And then we have like 8 months of just nothing. These people are going to be so sick of our rookie takes.
Rookie draft season, yeah, we're going to have to figure out how to space that out. Because if we have if we're doing weekly, which we're going to keep doing weekly.
I think we go daily in the off season.
Daily, starting in January.
No other podcast would dare. But you know what?
They wouldn't.
We go where other podcasts wouldn't dare tread.
Yeah, we'll have to. I think we'll probably do some larger positional rankings, non-rookie first, and then we get into March. We'll talk about the rookies, but that is not for today. Today
we're gonna be doing deep analysis on kickers and fullbacks
rookie kickers. Yeah. Oh, we love our fullbacks.
We're gonna be going straight off the rails mentally.
But today we are going to be discussing the trade deadline, which just passed yesterday, and with talking about players moving, we're also going to detail and sort of preview the free agent class of 2026. Quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends that have their contracts expiring, that are going to be free agents in the spring. And we're sort of going to be talking about whether we think they are moving on from their current team, where they could be potentially going, what type of contract that looks like, and how that affects their dynasty fantasy football value, of course. So, starting off with the trade deadline, not a whole lot of action in terms of fantasy relevant players. Obviously,
the defense kind of took the spotlight.
Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, the Jets, with a bit of a fire sale. This is good for Garrett Wilson. We can say that much, right? They're turning into the Bengals/Cowboys. It seems.
Yeah, he's going to get funneled 10 plus targets a game.
Now, if only our Lord and Savior Justin Fields could learn how to throw the ball, this would be incredible.
Yeah, I'm not feeling too optimistic. But yeah,
Aaron Glenn still won't name a starter. That's funny. I don't know how you feel about his competitive advantage that he seems to think he has.
Did you see his press conference about it too?
Dude, oh my God. He's that reporter has him in mental prison.
Oh my God. He's like, for strategic purposes, we're not naming him. And the reporter's like, what strategic advantage does this give you? He goes,
it's in my head.
It's in my head. It's like...
It is all in your head. Like, Aaron Glenn, what
do you think? Okay, that press conference was horrendous.
Terrible.
I think Aaron Glenn might be done this year. He might have a Gerard Mayo year because that's what Gerard Mayo did all last year. Was he had horrendous press conferences, didn't answer anything, handled them so poorly. And the team's like, yeah, you're not fit to lead a team if you can't even handle a press conference. And that was an awful way to handle a press conference.
Losing is bad enough, right? But when you are losing and you're also making the franchise look like the joke, the butt of every joke of every NFL meme page, that's Woody Johnson cares about that.
I think we'll see how he recovers. But that was a horrendous press conference, and I'm concerned that he is one and done there with the Jets, especially with the fact that they're selling all their best players. Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams, sending both those guys out means they're like, okay, we're full rebuilding.
Yeah.
And to me, as someone who's not in the building, just an outside source, to me, that looks like they've lost faith in their head coach. They're going to come do a complete reset this offseason. Now that they're loaded up with draft capital, bring in a new head coach, bring in a new GM, just do a full reset on this thing. Because I'm sure Aaron Glenn didn't agree to a full rebuild.
No, he thought that they were going to try and be competitive. They signed a quarterback to a 2-year deal and all this stuff. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And when you are doing this full, complete reset, they're going to have an opportunity to draft a top 5 quarterback, most likely. And when you're doing that kind of thing, as ownership, you need to make sure you have a guy in place that you can completely trust.
Yeah.
And so if you don't think that's Aaron Glenn, you should absolutely fire him. This is why, genuinely, I thought the Titans should have fired Brian Callahan after last year. Because you have the opportunity to draft a rookie quarterback to get a full new regime in.
It's the same thing that happened can be their guy. With the Bears and Caleb Williams.
Matt Eberflus should have gone way before he did.
Yeah. I don't... The smart teams do bring in a new head coach with a new quarterback so they can kind of build it together.
They don't want to seem reactionary, I think, but in a lot of cases, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, imagine the Patriots this year if we still had Gerard Mayo.
Oh, nightmare.
Yeah, and you can be quote unquote reactionary, or you can see early that this is going the wrong way. It's not recovering. If they're losing the locker room at all, you just got to move on from the coach as early as possible and just minimize the damage while you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyways, about the Jets.
With the trade deadline. Yeah, enough about the Jets.
Their defense, who's going to be worse on defense, the Dallas Cowboys or the New York Jets?
I think the Jets, or
the Dolphins.
The Cowboys they technically strengthened. Quinnen Williams is a very good player. The Sauce trade, I think, was 2 firsts is a lot, but Quinnen, I think, is worth what they paid, probably.
I mean, I think Sauce is worth that, though. I think it's quote unquote an overpay, but for the Colts, what they're doing, it makes sense because the Colts are just going all in.
Yeah.
And adding Sauce to that defense, an already very good defense, and then adding a lockdown corner like Sauce, that defense is going to be scary.
Yeah. I don't know. I know that he hasn't been as good this year as previous seasons, and I think corners can sometimes be up and down like that, but I mean, we'll see how it plays out for them. Obviously, I will hate the Colts until I die, but
same as a Patriots fan.
Well, yeah, there you go. With the
Manning era was a stressful one.
A little brutal. I mean, you can't complain about anything.
That is true. That is true.
With the trade deadline, though, only a few names of note get moved. So Jacoby Myers gets moved to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Shaheed to the Seahawks. And there was one more. And A.D. Mitchell.
A.D. Mitchell to the Jets in that Sauce deal. So I can talk about the Jets one because I love it. I think it's a great deal for both teams. It makes sense for both teams. And I feel like it's a positive bump for every single offensive piece in both systems. I think A.D. Mitchell, he's still a second round draft capital guy. That Colts wide receiver room was I don't know why they kept just adding more to it because they already had a lot of good players there. And so adding A.D. Mitchell in the second was just such a strange draft pick to me. But now he gets to go to the Jets where there is literally zero competition. He is going to get on the field for all of the snaps. And he gives the Jets a deep threat, which they haven't had. So I think him going to the Jets is going to free up Garrett Wilson. It's going to push the safeties back because now they have to respect a little bit of a deep ball, assuming Fields remembers how to throw one. And I love it. I love it for Garrett Wilson because it gives Garrett Wilson some help. He's no longer just going to get bracketed every play. And I love it for A.D. Mitchell because it gives him a fresh start, which is what A.D. Mitchell owners needed. And then on the Colts side, Alec Pierce is up, who had a bit of a breakout game this past. He also had a breakout year last year, but it was a weird one. He'd go for 2 catches and for 80 yards and a touchdown every other game. His
production is a lot more predictable this year than it has been in the past.
Yeah.
He's always been capable of that big blow-up game.
He actually got volume this past week.
It was 13 targets or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
crazy.
I think it's a plus for Alec Pierce. It's a plus for Josh Downs. Plus for Tyler Warren. Just getting another person out of the building guarantees those players to be on the field for those snaps. And yeah, I love it for both sides. As an A.D. Mitchell owner in a few leagues, I'm excited because this is the best chance he has to get a value bump.
Yeah. I really like it for Adonai Mitchell. I don't know if I'm as. I think I feel the exact same as you do. It's just muted. Like, I think that this is good for Adonai Mitchell because he's going to get an opportunity to get on the field. I think the fact that he couldn't get on the field ahead of a guy like Alec Pierce kind of tells you that maybe he wasn't worth a second round pick. That's just the sort of thing where, you know, the guys who are going to be dominant in this league, they're going to jump ahead of the competition in front of them. And so it's good that he has an opportunity. I don't know if he's going to do much with it. Obviously, you're not saying that he's all of a sudden worth a first round pick. You're just saying that it's, beneficial, which I completely agree.
I think he has potential to be a flex worthy play where he hasn't been his entire career yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as an AD Mitchell owner, realistically, I'm hoping he is a flex play that shows upside.
Yeah, absolutely. The other two guys that get moved, they are also both 2026 free agents, Jacoby Myers and Rashid Shaheed. So we can kind of, transition this quite smoothly. Jacoby Myers, it makes complete sense. He, all through the training camp, they are talking about how he's requesting a trade. He doesn't want to be there, all this stuff. They just traded they signed Tyler Lockett and then immediately played him over Jack Besh and Dante Thornton. I don't know if you saw this. Jack Besh did not play a snap on Sunday, which really disappointing. I don't know why you signed Tyler Lockett to play ahead of your second round pick when your team is terrible, but you do you, Pete Carroll. That's why, you would hope that a Jacoby Myers trade would free up Jack Besh, but I worry that it's just not going to be anything because they didn't play him on Sunday, which is weird.
You mean Trey Tucker, wide receiver 1?
It's just a
Vegas.
mess over there, right? And then with Jacoby Myers moving to Jacksonville, obviously Travis Hunter on IR. We don't know when he's going to be ready to play. And Brian Thomas Jr. now dealing with this high ankle sprain, and there isn't really any.
We know Vegas is just going to be Genty and Bowers. As a Bowers owner, I'm like, okay, cool. Sign me up for 15 targets a week.
Yeah,
we're going to get a hat trick. We're going to be the Jonathan Taylor of tight ends.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
We know the volume. I think it's all going Genty, all going to Bowers, and then it's going to be a little mix of Trey Tucker.
I want to see something
Jack
from
Besh, dude. Same.
Yeah.
The Myers one makes so much sense because the Jags lead the league in dropped passes. Brian Thomas Jr. is eating popcorn on the sidelines every single game. He just got buttery hands. Yeah. And Myers has a 1.8% drop percentage for his entire career.
There you go.
The dude does not drop passes. Mm-hmm. So I think it's such a good play. I think I worry about the amount of competition for the Jags. If I'm a Myers owner, I probably
rest of season though.
I guess
there's really nothing.
I guess I'm neutral if I'm a Myers owner on this deal.
I think this is a plus based on what he had done so far this year. Because so far this year, he's done absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So an opportunity to do something, for me, it has to bump him a little bit. He could end up being a flex play.
Hunter and Brian Thomas are healthy. What does his role look like?
Yeah, exactly.
Realistically, it's 4 to 5 targets a game, maybe.
It'll be limited, I imagine.
30 to 40 yards.
We don't even know if Travis Hunter is coming back before the playoffs. So, and then Jacoby's a free agent.
And then Brian Thomas, I'm not worried about him because he plays a totally different kind of skill position than.
Yeah, this cannot affect the value of any of the other Jags receivers at all. Yeah. I don't think
So I think it's a plus for, I guess, Trevor Lawrence out of any of those.
Yeah, maybe a tiny bump. I wouldn't value him any higher because of this, though. I don't think Jacoby Myers is the type of guy that turns Trevor Lawrence into a top 10 quarterback.
Not until we see an actual step up from Lawrence, which we've been waiting on this whole year and has just not shown.
Yeah, and it might just never happen. Honestly.
And then Shaheed to the Seahawks is kind of fun. I'm as I've stated on the pod multiple times, I'm a big Shaheed believer. I think he's a very good wide receiver, and he doesn't need a ton of volume to be productive. Which is good because JSN is a volume hog. But he's got the same effect that AD Mitchell going to the Jets has, where Him going to the Seahawks is going to free up JSN so much. Now the safeties can't bracket to JSN's side.
Torrey Horton erasure.
That is true. R.A.P. Torrey
But
Horton.
it helps. For sure.
All the Horton truthers.
Yeah.
Which I took him 212 in our rookie redraft, didn't I?
I think he was at the back end of the second there, yeah.
He is probably the biggest faller of this.
It is tough, but long term.
But I think I love it for Shaheed. I love it for Darnold. They needed a deep threat because all they really had was JSN and Cup. And you've seen them wanting to push the ball downfield. And it was mostly to Torrey Horton. And he was doing all right. But they clearly wanted to upgrade that position. And and Shaheed is a great deep threat. And he's a deep threat that has good hands, can get open, and he's just a burner. He's like an off-brand Deshaun Jackson is how he plays. Yeah, so I'm excited for him going to the Seahawks because he's going to get the same, almost the same volume as he did with the Saints, but it's going to be higher quality volume.
Yeah, I like that, and I worry with a Shaheed type that he's one of those guys where it's really difficult to find a game to throw him in your lineup if he's not consistently
one of the best ball merchants.
Exactly. If he's the best ball play where he's going to put up that 20-pointer where he has an 80-yard touchdown every once in a while, but it's not predictive at all.
I think this does make him a little bit more volatile because there is another player in the lineup that can just steal the game, like JSN.
But
like I had 2 leagues this year where I had to start Shaheed on multiple weeks, and I was pretty happy with what he gave me. He gave me 5 to 8 targets, and one of those could be a long ball. But if it doesn't, it's still like 5 to 8 targets for 50 to 70 yards, putting up 10 to 14 points in my flex, and I'm pretty happy with that as my final flex spot. So I've been content with him as a dynasty owner most of this year, and now I think his quality of targets is going to go up, and I think they have a clear game plan that they're going to slot him into Torrey Horton's role that they've been trying to use Torrey Horton with the deep balls. But now I think that role is going to be so much more effective with Shaheed there.
I do find it a little confusing because Torrey Horton has looked really, really good. I mean, he's coming off a game with 2 touchdowns, 4 receptions. He seems sure-handed. He's doing the right things downfield. And then I get it as a contender. You're always trying to improve. And Cooper Kupp is hurt. And when he's not hurt, he's not really doing much in the receiving game this year. They really value him as a blocker and as a piece of the run game. But in the receiving game, he hasn't done a ton. So Shaheed adds to that room for sure. I think because he is a free agent, this doesn't really hurt Torrey Horton that much long term. If he is good, he is going to win out in the future. And for the Saints, where Shaheed's coming from, this is great for Chris Olave. I mean, he was getting funneled targets from Spencer Rattler.
He's getting 20 targets a game.
Dude, and they're not going to be good targets because it's Tyler Shuck.
No, and if you catch 10 of them.
He's been terrible so far, and they probably shouldn't have benched Rattler. But long term for Chris Olave, you have probably a rookie quarterback coming in. I mean, drafting Shuck in the second round is not going to stop you from taking a guy in the top 5. And for the rest of this year, Olave is going to be a playable name because there is nothing else. It's Jawan Johnson, it's Brandon Cooks, and Devon Vele.
I wonder if this is actually a positive for Torrey Horton. And hear me out.
All right.
I'm stewing on something here. Last year, we're gonna go into story time real quick. Last year with the Panthers, we saw Leggett be pretty effective as a power slot, and then they moved him to an X receiver halfway through the year, and his production just plummeted. That's not the role he's supposed to be in. I kind of think Horton seemed to be most effective when I was watching those games. He seemed to be most effective, most comfortable in the short to intermediate routes, almost like a Rashee Rice clone. And taking away, it seemed like he was forced into the deep threat because they're not going to use JSN as a pure deep threat. They're not going to use Kupp as a deep threat. They kind of put him in that role by by force because they didn't have anyone else to fill that role. And I feel like the deep balls are where he was struggling. Like it just didn't look good. He's not that great at tracking the ball. So I think now that they have Shaheed to open up the deep threats, Kupp is out. I feel like he might be better in a Rashee Rice kind of role, taking the intermediate and short routes and then trying to go for yards after catch rather than being forced into that deep role. And maybe the Seahawks recognize that, which is what I'm hoping.
It could be. I like the theory.
I just think the deep balls are where I saw Horton struggle the most. He just like doesn't seem to get it on tracking. But he seems good every time he has the ball in his hands. So if they move him to a Rashee Rice kind of role, I feel like that makes perfect sense for them. And if they have Shaheed on the deep ball, they can do that.
I think I differ a tiny bit on his role as a deep target. I sort of liked how he's looked in those situations. I feel like a lot of his touchdowns have been sort of over the shoulder, not bombs, but decently long throws. But you could absolutely be right. And honestly, this type of move sort of works with that theory of we think we can maximize this offense differently with these three receivers. Having Torrey Horton, I would worry that he loses snaps to Kupp if that's the case, because Kupp is going to work as that blocker and he's not going to get on the field, right?
Yeah.
So
I think so, but also if you have Torrey Horton, you're not like, oh, he needs to pay off year one. He's just a deeper stash, and he may just have a JSN timeline where he needs a year to ramp up.
Yeah, he could be a guy that we're
as long as he's
in the summer,
the right role for him, then I'm fine with it. But we should probably move on because we got a lot to cover.
To get to. Yeah. So we'll go through position by position here. Starting at quarterback, there's really only one of note in terms of having a larger conversation.
I've got three.
Three, really? Okay, so obviously Daniel Jones.
Is the big one. And then Geno and Darnold, they both have outs in year one for their contracts.
So not full on free agents,
No, but it's a glorified 1 year contract for both. Mm-hmm. So I figured we should add them, even though it's technically like a 2-year contract for both of them.
So Daniel Jones, I think you and I feel the same, that he's likely going to get extended. The Colts moves at the deadline here. The moves at the deadline that they've made, going all in, sort of tells you that they believe in their long-term answer at quarterback. Obviously, sending 2 first-round picks, it's not to try and win 1 Super Bowl this year. It's a long-term thing. Getting Sauce Gardner on the team, that's a big deal. And they have the coach in place. They think that they have the quarterback in place. They have an incredible running game. They have really good offensive weapons. Their offensive line is very, very good. The defense is close, and adding Sauce Gardner is only going to help. So they're set up here for, if this offense can continue to hum like this, for a several-year run of being a contender in the AFC, and I think a Daniel Jones extension is going to come with that.
Yeah, barring a monumental Daniel Jones meltdown, which
Sam Darnold-esque
can happen. There's already a meme
we saw him look bad for the first time this past week, right?
Yeah, there's already a meme from this past week where it showed Daniel Jones doing his like that face. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that comes across on the camera wall. He was doing that face while looking at the defense, terrified. And people were like, "Oh God, we've seen this face before. We know what happens." Mm-hmm. So. Barring a monumental meltdown, he's gonna get extended. Like Shane Steichen found his guy. He's running the offense the way Steichen wants it. It's been very effective, and I'm just lock it in. He's gonna get extended, especially if they make any kind of playoff run.
Yeah, and I think that even if he Darnold's and has a collapse at the end of the year, the Colts
He's don't Darnold as a verb there.
Wow. The Colts don't have a J.J. McCarthy sitting behind him. If J.J. McCarthy isn't drafted before they sign Sam Darnold, or in the same offseason they sign Sam Darnold, Darnold would have got extended there. Yeah. There's no reason not to. They don't extend him because they're like, okay, well, we have this rookie and we need to see what he can do, and he's cost effective and all this stuff. The Colts are not going to be in a position to draft a quarterback, and they don't have one on the roster. Anthony Richardson is nothing now. They don't have one on the roster to be waiting on. So I completely agree. Daniel Jones will get a contract similar to like the first Baker deal, maybe a little more than that. But yeah, as a dynasty asset with a little bit, he's not running the ball a ton, but he has the rushing touchdown upside. He gets those tush pushes at the goal line. And in a high-powered offense, he is going to be a streamable, startable name for several years to come. And it's a quarterback that I'm targeting in Dynasty right now while people are sort of taking time to adjust to his true value. But realistically, if we're playing in a 3-year window, would you rather have Daniel Jones or Jared Goff?
I'm still taking Goff there.
I think it's really close.
Really?
I do think it's really close.
Goff locked into their offense for like another 3 to 4 years.
Is Daniel Jones not also locked into a very good offense for 3 to 4 years?
Sure, but we've seen it. Goff has a track record of being a QB1 almost every single year of his career. So yeah. I'm taking the stability, knowing that he's going to finish there. Because what's the upside of Daniel Jones? Like, okay, Goff's upside is finishing as a QB8, QB9, QB10. I don't think Daniel Jones can break into the top 6 or 7 QB range. So I feel like Daniel Jones,
maybe not top 6 or 7, but mid to late quarterback 1. I think he can absolutely do that. I think Daniel Jones could easily finish as the quarterback 8 on a season.
Yeah, but Goff does that every year, so I'm just going to take the guy who does it every year because I know he's going to do it, and there's no risk of fallout.
Yeah, that's completely fair. I think that
if you want to take the gamble, obviously, I think right now Daniel Jones is cheaper than Goff, so there is a little bit of a discount that comes with that risk.
Yeah, I guess my argument is that I think it's super close because I think Daniel Jones is going to get a contract, and he may not be a great quarterback, but he is a very good quarterback in this system.
Yeah.
And if he is staying in this system, then and this type of season will give this coaching staff and this regime and this system a lot of runway in terms of how long they'll have to take shots at it until they blow it up.
Yeah. As for Darnold, he's gonna be there another year. He's played great.
Oh, it's been incredible.
And we were all concerned him being behind that offensive line. He's like, you know what? I'll just throw it to JSN 15 times a game, and guess what? It works.
This is literally the year of so throwing to the best receivers, player on the team 20 times is a good idea.
God, it's such a bold strategy, but you know what? They're innovators in the NFL.
They're revolutionizing the offense.
I would have never thought to have that game plan, so that's why I'm just a lowly podcaster, I guess. But anyways, hire me, NFL, if you need someone to tell your quarterback to throw to its best receiver. I got you.
We both would have told you that preseason, by the way.
I'm sure, you know what? The Titans could really use that. So sign us up.
We don't have a best player to throw to, unfortunately. But maybe one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, Darnold's going to get extended. He'll ride out this, or maybe he'll ask for more money in the offseason. But he will be there for the foreseeable future. I was really hesitant with this second move for him because he didn't look good at any point before playing on the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
He never looked good. And then he plays on the Vikings. He looks incredible until those last 2 games where he Darnolds and kind of shows his true self. And then he moves to Seattle with like you said, a terrible offensive line, one weapon like JSN, and then really not much else coming into the year. Cooper Kupp is old, and he's just operating this offense so incredibly well. They have no run game. The Seattle Seahawks cannot run the ball to save their lives, and Darnold is absolutely cooking.
They also can't figure out which running back to use.
I
swear they flip a coin on the sidelines and be like, you know what, KW, you're in. And be like, oh, it's a Charbonnet game.
Neither are working, and they can't figure that out. Hopefully they just had the bye week, obviously, so hopefully they're able to get that on track here and help him out. But he's looked incredible.
Yeah, there's been so many quarterbacks who have gone to the Kevin O'Connell School for quarterbacks who don't quarterback well. Yeah. And have left there and done poorly because they're not in that system with that play calling. But Darnold's been great.
Yep.
So just as we all expected.
Geno, on the other hand.
He's gone, man. He's got to be.
Is he like toast, do you think? Like, is he like done?
There's no way he's back. There's no way he is playing for the Vegas Raiders next year. Especially given the fact that they sold Jacoby Myers. They got him out. Their offense is run through Genty and Bowers. And what's their record currently?
It's got to be like 2-7 or something, I think.
They are 2-6. So they're getting a new quarterback this offseason.
Is Pete Carroll drafting a rookie quarterback?
Well, I made the hot take a few weeks ago, if you remember, that I think Pete Carroll might be one and done there.
He could easily be one and done there because I don't think that and it could be just like a mutually agreed thing. Like he's not not staying through a rebuild. He's like 79 years old.
It could be one of those conversations where the team's like, hey, clearly we're a few years away from competing. We're going to draft a quarterback. Do you want to be involved in the rebuild or not? And Carroll might be just be gone. But I also think given the pieces they have, if they can get a wide receiver and they can get a quarterback, I think they're okay. Obviously, Bowers is a fantastic piece to build with. Genty has been really good. I think they have pieces there where he honestly might look at the draft and be like, you know what, Mendoza, you're better than Geno. So this isn't a rebuild. Maybe I feel like I can kind of. It's like slingshotting. It's Ricky Bobby. You're dropping back to get a quarterback, and then that's the last piece you need to kind of jump ahead.
Hopefully, the offensive line is also pretty bad. I worry that why is his name Pete Carroll is not going to want to sit through that, and Geno's probably toast. I mean, he has no value in a dynasty league anymore because. You can't start him.
I don't think he's playing quarterback for at least starting for the Raiders next year. Maybe team.
He ends up as like he goes back to being a backup. You know, he's Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett, the starter.
How
dare you use that as your example for a backup?
I wasn't even trying to. I guess we can talk about Kyler a tiny bit too. We did touch on him in the Awful Teams episode, but. I mean, he's been benched. I did not think that this was going to happen. I called it. I thought that they would. Tags was on the other side of this.
Shout out me and Jay Bears. We called this literally weeks ago. I think it was after the Indianapolis game where he balled out against the Packers, balled out against the Colts. It's like Kyler could never do this against both of those teams. And then he played well against the Cowboys and Kyler lost his job. So we called this literally weeks ago. And then when it came in, we're just like, swish.
How are we valuing Kyler then right now? Because I do think that he gets another chance. I think he's too talented. What I said on the Awful Teams episode is that he is so good out of structure. He is so good improvising on the run, throwing on the run. You put him in a clean pocket, and he just doesn't know what to do. And
that's it's such a weird. You can't build an offense around deconstructed plays.
So you need to find somebody who thinks that they can figure this out. You need to find a coach with an ego big enough to think that he can make it work with Kyler Murray. And I think that he is too talented for him to not get an opportunity somewhere if he does end up getting cut.
They also have to unlock Marvin Harrison Jr. You spent that high of draft capital on him. And clearly Kyler cannot unlock Marvin Harrison Jr. because turns out Marvin Harrison does best on scripted, timed plays.
Oh my God.
He doesn't do well on deconstructed plays.
Jacoby said after the game that, the coaches, we talked before the game and they decided they were going to go to Marv early.
What What a bold strategy.
What a wild
new
idea.
This new trend of coaches targeting their best wide receivers. It's taking the league by storm. It's wild.
This is insane. It's insane to me how this isn't the most obvious thing in the world.
We've never seen...
Instead of giving the ball to Bam Knight 8 times on the first drive, we're going to throw to the 4th overall pick.
We've never seen this innovative of offensive play calling in our entire lives. Man, if only...
It truly boggles the mind.
If only the Lions knew to throw to Megatron 15 times a game, that things like positive things would happen. I wish they knew this back in the day. Imagine how good Randy Moss could have been if they targeted him.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild to me that this is what's happening. I mean, the Cardinals, they're not going to stick with Jacoby Brissett, so I guess they could end up with drafting somebody if they have a low enough pick. But with Jacoby Brissett operating the offense like this, maybe they don't have a low pick. They're 3-6 now. Going into the bye week, I believe. No, they had the bye.
Yeah, they just had the bye.
They just had the bye. So, but yeah, they're 3-5, I think. But they've lost a lot of one-score games. We'll see how they do down the stretch here. But Kyler, I think maybe if people are selling him really low, like if he's being valued below like Darnold, he's like being valued next to Tua. Maybe that's an interesting buy for punt teams or for rebuilders, because I truly believe that he will get a shot. Kyler Murray is not going to be a backup quarterback, and he's not going to play in the XFL.
I mean, the Cardinals are kind of screwed with his contract currently.
They can get out of it, no?
Not for...
We talked about this, didn't we?
Was this a contract we talked about? Also, I really enjoy how this episode has become our like offensive coordinator crash out episode.
It's warranted, honestly.
It is really
warranted.
But from what I'm seeing, the potential out is 2028. So in 2022, he signed a 6-year fully guaranteed contract.
So when they say potential out 2028, I think they're finding something where there's no dead cap. But if they cut him, like, they would save money. So his contract comes off the books, but there's a shit ton of dead cap. So they would just be operating with way less salary than anybody else in the league.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't have Kyler Murray. So if they think that Kyler Murray is a net negative, then it is worth it to cut him and save. If they have a post June 1st release, they're saving $18 million.
That Marvin Harrison Jr. touchdown, there's no way Kyler would have thrown that. He wouldn't be able to see him.
Tua was talking about how he can't see over his offensive line sometimes, and Tua's like 6'1".
Anyways, we gotta get moving, or else we'll talk about Kyler all. So I don't know. I think Kyler is definitely going to get a job somewhere. Yeah, because I don't think the Cardinals. I don't know what they do with that contract. I feel like they're just kind of stuck. Will he be good
with that job? I mean, he could be. You could trade for him. The Raiders could trade for him.
Are they going to take? They would have to give up so much cap space back, though. Like, who's going to take on that contract for Kyler? And what front office is going to take the risk on trading for Kyler, taking on that contract, and having a quarterback where you're like, I do not know how to build an offensive system around this guy?
Well, I think you're underestimating the ego of some offensive minds in this league, and they think that they can fix him. And
that is true.
They may be well wrong, but I think some of them will think they can do it. Moving over off of the quarterbacks, I think the running back discussion will be a lot easier. Running backs is fun. There's a pretty large class this year of guys who will get jobs and will likely do well with their jobs.
And there's a lot of fun names.
Why don't we just draft guys to talk about? We can just go. Well, okay. I'll go first.
You go first.
Then we'll just take turns picking who we think are the most interesting names to discuss. I will go first, and I will take Mr. Breece Hall at the 101 of... You'll get to say something, too.
I wanted to talk about Breece.
So Breece Hall is coming off of his 4-year rookie deal. Obviously drafted in, 2022? And He was a second round pick, so no fifth year option. And he is going to be a free agent in 2026. And the Jets doing a full reset. I think he's a good enough player where I would not be shocked if they re-signed him, especially a new regime. If Aaron Glenn, I think honestly it's more likely he stays if Aaron Glenn gets fired, because a new regime will be drafting a rookie quarterback.
I don't think he stays if Glenn is there.
No, but a new regime may want that stability of a good running game with their rookie quarterback, and I think he could provide for that. In that case, I wouldn't love it for his long-term value. The upside of Breece Hall is huge. If he ends up on if the Chiefs are like, you know what, we don't want to draft a guy, we want to pay a guy who we know is good. Who else could use a running back? There are so many teams. Minnesota, maybe, could be interesting. There are a lot of landing spots that Breece could go to, and I think the way that you value him is purely based on what you think is going to happen in free agency, because I think that I don't love his value if he stays on the Jets, but if he goes anywhere else, I think that his value skyrockets.
Yeah, he's a fun one. I would imagine he's not staying if Aaron Glenn's there, just based on the attention they had this past offseason. Yeah. And also, Breece has made it clear multiple times in his press conferences that he wants to be a workhorse back. I cannot imagine he stays with the Jets, especially if Aaron Glenn's there, given the fact that they've been like, yeah, we're a committee team. We're going to give the ball to Isaiah Davis. We're going to give the ball to Braylon Allen. So if he moves teams, it's going to be really fun. But if he stays with the Jets, I'm just going to be like, why? Yeah, but I also, given the trajectory of the Jets and them doing a full rebuild, they're not going to spend money on a running back. So I would bet money that he doesn't stay, because then he's going to have to take a bro deal.
Bad teams still want good players, though, and I think that a reliable running back for a rookie quarterback, teams would see that as very helpful. I did see that the Chiefs offered a fourth. This was a rumor. The Chiefs offered a fourth, and the Jets wanted a third, and so it didn't happen. So the Chiefs do have some interest. That would obviously, that's everybody's dream, right? Is that he goes there?
Send the third. Why are teams so stingy with fourth and third round picks?
I think they just worry if they don't get an extension done, they're just losing an asset for. But have you not seen how good Kareem Hunt is?
Yeah.
Why would they don't need Breece Hall?
God, let's move on. I don't even want to talk about Kareem Hunt.
Who's your who do you want to draft?
With my 102, I'm going to pick Kenneth Walker, my boo. I love Kenneth Walker. He's such a good runner, and he's his entire career he has ran behind the most ass of ass offensive lines. That dude, every time he touches the ball, he's like a yard behind the line of scrimmage, 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and just getting swarmed. Somehow like wiggles his way through for a 2-yard gain. And that's all that shows up on the stat sheet, is that he got a 2-yard gain, 2-yard gain, 3-yard gain. Then he'll bust like a 20-yarder out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's been his entire MO, his entire career. But man, like every play he touches the ball, he's just getting swarmed behind the line of scrimmage and then makes something happen. So give him a line that actually gives him space to like set up a defender to do a couple cuts and break off some runs. He's going to be so good. He's so good at running the ball. He's decent at catching the ball. I think that's a very underrated skill, because wasn't part of his game plan in college. But he's been decent at catching the ball. And I just hope he goes somewhere with a decent offensive line. And I don't even care if he goes somewhere where he's going to split. Like, say Aaron Jones retires and it's him and Jordan Mason with the Vikings. Mm-hmm. I'm fine with that, because I think Kenneth Walker is better. So I don't mind if he goes to a spot where he splits 65-35 on running back carries, because I think he's just that good. He just needs an offensive line to help him.
I think his biggest problem in his career has been running in the wrong direction. He often bounces off a tackle and ends up 4 yards behind it. And I think that's where some of the 2-yard gains come from. But there's no doubt he's a very talented back. I think most people paying attention to the Seahawks backfield this year are saying that he's much better than Zach Charbonnet. and that it's just
watching
weird...
the games, like the eye test. Kenneth Walker looks
and
better
Charbonnet
than
is just
Charbs.
a bowling ball. Like Charbonnet is just running downhill, not really making any cuts, not making anybody miss.
Yeah, he's such a stiff running back. It always looks so ugly when Charbonnet's on the field because he runs so upright. He's just like standing running, and he's so stiff. And Kenneth Walker's just so much more fun.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, I think that I think honestly, it's more likely that he moves on than Brees because Zach Charbonnet is there. It seems like maybe this team would... Clearly, they don't believe in him as a workhorse. So maybe they're just like, if we're going to have a committee, let's not pay one of the guys in the committee $10 million. Let's just draft somebody to complement Zach Charbonnet now and let Kenneth Walker walk. And in that case, I'd be excited to see where he goes. I do think with a lot of these free agency moves, and this was something I was thinking coming into the trade deadline, and we didn't really have a move that allowed me to talk about this. But often the hype of what if is a really good thing to capitalize on. I remember last year when Amari Cooper got traded to the Bills, every single league I had him in, I sold him before he played a game. Because I was like, he is being valued here like he is going to be like a wide receiver one rest of season, and I just don't think that's going to happen.
Like a mid first.
And even if it does happen, I'm getting value for that. So that's the type of thing where I think with Brees going to the Chiefs, with Kenneth Walker, if he ends up on the Vikings and it looks really good and all this stuff, I think there could be a selling window there. But I think the buying window is right now for Kenneth Walker because I do think that he moves on. I bought him in a league last week. I paid Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt and a third. And
Bill.
I mean, with Bill looking as terrible as Bill looks, I am so happy with that. It's not even a punt team. It's a team I'm competing on, but Bill's not helping me. So I figured why not try and get Ken Walker? And I'm trying to buy him everywhere. Punt teams.
I don't even think it's the Seahawks losing like respect for Kenneth Walker. I think it's literally because like Charbonnet hasn't done much better. I think they're literally just like, we don't know. We're going to try to run a hot hand, but no one's hot because the offensive line is bad and no one can get space. So they just alternate because like hoping one of them has a hot game, but they've both been bad. So I don't even think it's like losing faith in Kenneth Walker. I think they're just trying to find any possible way of someone to be productive in the running game, despite their struggles on the offensive line. But anyways,
do you think he gets re-signed?
No.
You think he goes to free agency?
Yeah, he goes. I think he's going to be a free agent. Which
That's so much more exciting.
I'm just going to hope all these people go to free agency because it is more. The what if is more exciting than staying where they're
chaos. At. The chaos is fun.
We should probably do rapid fire on some of these, or else it's going to be like a 3-hour pod. Who do you got for 103? I can't remember what pick we're at.
I like the Javonte Williams conversation.
Does he get re-signed?
He signs a 1-year deal with Dallas coming into this year, obviously. I think he probably stays there. I think he's going to cost quite a bit more than the $3 million that he signed for currently. But I think that they probably like the way that he looked. I think Brian Schottenheimer is going to get another shot at this. No pun intended. And I think that maybe they draft a rookie to complement him. But I think that he probably gets re-signed here. And if he doesn't get re-signed, I would worry a little bit. Because, again, I do not understand for the life of me why he looked so bad in the Broncos system that J.K. Dobbins is now dominating in. And he looks so good on the Cowboys. I don't understand it.
I've made this point in the past. I kind of reiterate that not everyone is Adrian Peterson. Some players need longer to recover from ACL injuries and like major injuries. And now that he's another year removed from that injury, I think we kind of see him looking like he did his rookie year.
Yeah. I mean, it was, his ACL tear was October 2nd, 2022. So he was 2 years removed last year. Yeah, maybe he just needed the third year. It could be.
I think we've gotten spoiled with players being like, oh, it's a torn ACL. He'll be back next year.
And it's just not the same. He's back, but he's not the same. So, yeah, I think best case scenario for Javonte, honestly, is that he stays on the Cowboys because it's a really good situation. There's hardly a better one out there.
Curious what kind of money he gets if he does stay. Like if he's up into like the 10 million range. There's no way he's up into the James Cook range.
No, definitely
of like
he's
14.
too old for that.
Is he? Aren't they like the same age?
Old in his career, I mean. Like he's... Well, I guess with the injury... Yeah, but you know what? He looks good. So he could get into that range for sure. I would worry that the Cowboys wouldn't want to pay that. It'd be some sort of standoff. But yeah, I think bottom line, best case scenario, he stays with the Cowboys. If he does go to free agency, I would be a little worried.
They're the like almost exact same age.
That's funny.
Were they the same draft class? What draft class were they in?
No, Javonte was way before, wasn't he?
I don't think
Javonte
so.
was drafted in 2021. James Cook was 2022. James Cook was the Breece Hall year, right?
Yeah, but Javonte came in as like a 20-year-old, didn't he?
He was really young. Yeah, very young prospect.
Anyways,
Who's
I
I
think it's best if he stays with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Very curious if they re-sign him. I think they will, given the fact that like they've needed someone like that to take over since they haven't had anyone since Ezekiel Elliott.
Mm-hmm.
Next will be, let's do Rico Dowdle because he's kind of fun.
I don't
know what the heck to do with this guy. He is apparently the greatest running back ever to touch the turf. Yeah. Who knew? Speaking of guys who were in the Cowboy system that didn't do well, and now he's just like amazing.
He had 1,000 yards though.
Yeah, and he was splitting time there. But man, he was
good.
So he's 27.
Where'd this guy come from?
I don't know.
So funny.
He's just, I don't know what to do with him. I don't know why I drafted him because now I have to actually have an analysis on him. And I'm just like, shrug emoji because I have no idea what to do with this guy. Like, he came in and just completely stole Chuba Hubbard's job after Chuba did great all last year. And now he's like, get on the bench. I'm here now. Because he's running for like 200 yards a game now. It's insane. So I imagine if he keeps it up, he's getting a contract extension, but it's going to be like probably a glorified 1-year contract, meaning it's a 2-year contract, but realistically they can get out after 1 year.
Yeah. I wonder if he's like, should we be valuing him as a starter going forward? Because
Dude, I have no idea what to value him as. Because in my contending teams, I'm trying to buy him, but I don't want to send a first for him.
Oh my God!
And people don't want to sell him for a second. So I'm just like, I don't understand where his value's at a range that like is happy for both people making the deal.
I think if you're a rebuilder with Rico Dowdle, which makes perfect sense. I mean, he's being valued as the running back 22 on Keep Trade Cut, ahead of Travis Etienne, ahead of Jalen Warren, ahead of DeAndre Swift, right behind Derrick Henry and Kenneth Walker. It's so strange because his name looks out of place there, but it probably shouldn't be. I mean, the Packers are an incredible run defense, and he just went for 130 and 2 on them.
I'm surprised he's jumped up that far in value already. But yeah, being an older back at 27, I'm just...
His value's not going to get any higher than that, so you should probably sell him.
But for what? I feel like people with Rico Dowdle want a late first for him. As a contender, I don't want to send a late first for Rico Dowdle because I don't know what this asset is or what their long-term projection is. Do I get 1 year? Do I get this year out of him and then he's back to being toast? Does he go somewhere else that doesn't unlock him?
If a contender would send a first for Rico Dowdle in a second, like if you could move up around that way, I would be interested in that. I would probably be fine selling him for an early second. I don't have any shares. This is just not a player that I coveted in the offseason. Being a backup on a bottom 10 projected offense was not something I was interested in. And obviously he's jumped up quite a bit in value. I mean, yeah, if I could, I'll send him for Kenneth Walker. I like that. I like that quite a bit.
I don't need this episode is I'll send him for Kenneth Walker. We'll just do a tier list of this completely random player, would you send them for Kenneth Walker?
So, guys, thank you for tuning in today. We have no
Daniel
idea
Jones
what to do
or
with
Kenneth
Rico
Walker?
Dowdle. Oh my god, Daniel Jones. But thanks for guys. We have no idea what to do with Rico Dowdle. If you have any ideas, let us know.
Leave a comment.
We have no clue.
Like and subscribe so you can get more Rico Dowdle content.
We can speedrun a few of these last names. Travis Etienne is a little interesting. He's sort of weird because I don't think he's performed nearly as well.
You've been an Etienne hater this year. What's your thoughts?
I am a bit of an Etienne hater. I don't know. Just the fact that he was so inefficient last year sort of scared me. And I saw this situation with Bashal Tutin coming in very similarly to the Rashad White and Bucky Irving of last year.
But Etienne's better than Rashad White. I don't think that's a fair comparison.
He is. I think he is slightly better, but in terms of efficiency numbers, last year,
yes,
it's very similar.
They are kind of, I guess they are kind of a similar production profile.
Yeah,
people running backs
Rashad
that can
White
catch
was just
like
not as good
10
of a prospect.
passes a game, but then average 2 yards a carry. But Cohen's kind of unlocked Etienne again.
Yeah, because the offense does look. I mean, it looked better in the first 5 weeks than it has in the last few, but...
So I kind of feel like Etienne is the Bucky, but that's my hot take.
Yeah, I don't think he gets extended, though.
No, that's a tough one, especially after bringing in Tutin.
He's a weird one when he goes to free agency. We're obviously going to be able to talk about all of these guys once they have new teams in the spring as well, but we're just trying to get a grasp on what their value is now and how we can sort of capitalize on it. And Etienne might just be one that I'm like, don't buy, don't sell.
So this week I've offered a couple like early seconds for Etienne because I don't think he's a late first.
No.
The problem is that the Etienne owners are like, yeah, I want a first for him. I'm just going to hold him and rather than sell for a second. So he's another one kind of like Dowdle where it's like, I don't know his value. I like Etienne better than Dowdle for long-term prospects.
Me too.
Like if Etienne goes to, we always use this because they have needed a running back for years and never get one. If Etienne goes to the Chiefs, I'm hyped.
Hey, they got CH back, so.
God. Anyways. On that note.
The only other names of note.
I think I would. I honestly have no idea with Etienne. And anyways, that's my analysis. So that's why you tuned in to hear us. I have no freaking clue.
Some actionable advice: don't buy, don't sell. So I guess inactionable advice.
Yeah.
The only other names of note: J.K. Dobbins has been really good in this system. He probably deserves a raise. I don't know if he gets it in Denver.
I think he's another one where he played great with the Chargers last year and then kind of moves on to play with another team pretty well. Yeah. I can't imagine the Broncos re-signing him.
They have RJ Harvey in the wings waiting for a bigger role.
And I think that offensive line is so good that you can plug most running backs in there and they'll be productive. So I don't think they...
Except for Javonte.
A year removed from the injury, man. It's the only explanation.
2 years removed.
2 years removed.
So J.K. Dobbins is just like a late second running back, good for contending teams. You don't want him on a rebuilder. The only other guy I think we should quickly mention, Isaiah Pacheco.
God, I hate him.
His rookie year is coming to a close. I
talk about Pacheco like you talk about Etienne.
He could be a guy. He could be a guy that needs another year after the injury. He hasn't run super pure this season.
Which injury? He's only injured every single year.
Oh, this again.
Who's had more healthy seasons, Tua or Isaiah Pacheco? That's a fun question. The answer might surprise you.
I don't think it's going to surprise me.
We're about to clickbait everyone with this.
Let me see. Does Pacheco deserve this? I don't know if Pacheco deserves this.
He just always has injuries, and even when he's healthy, he's barely a starter on the Chiefs now. When he's healthy,
so here's what I'm gonna do. He played 17 games as a rookie. He then missed 3 in his second year, and then he broke his fibula. So
Tua's healthier.
I don't know. I mean, we do not need to argue about Isaiah Pacheco. That would be a waste of both of our breaths.
At best, he's a flex player, and I just don't care about those players in this context. Like, I don't think he gets extended because even the Chiefs are like, they brought in Kareem Hunt because they weren't getting enough from Pacheco. Mm-hmm. They're going to literally bring in Dobbins or Kenneth Walker or any free agency running back, and they're going to put up the same production as Pacheco. I think he's just he's just there. And in fantasy, he's like, you might get running back 3 numbers out of him, but you're not looking for 8 points a game, 9 points a game. The amount of times he's had like a stat line of like 15 carries for 42 yards and 1 catch for 5 yards. I feel like that's just like Pacheco's game.
In 2023, he was the running back 14 in points per game, 15 overall. At 15 points per game, he was running at 4.6 a carry, almost had 1,000 yards. I think that if he signs with a team I think he could be a guy who next offseason, if he ends up in a Javonte Williams type situation on a good team with a sort of ambiguous backfield, we're not sure who's going to come out of it. I am going to be targeting him like crazy in Dynasty and in redraft. You're muted.
Good.
I didn't want to hear what you were saying.
Yeah. I said good teams already have good running backs. So what good
The Cowboys didn't last year.
What good team? That's right. That's why I said good teams already have good running backs. Cowboys aren't a good team.
I promise I will find you one.
But what team is going to go look at all these options and be like, we got to fix the running back room. We're making a playoff run. Pacheco's our guy.
You would have said the same thing about Javonte last offseason, though.
With going to the Cowboys?
Yeah. Oh, Javonte's the solution? Javonte
I agree,
and Jaden
Blue is the solution?
Javonte
also proved it already with his rookie season. Isaiah
Pacheco proved it in 2023.
We got to compare these.
To a different degree, he proved what he can do. The ceiling of Pacheco is not the same as the ceiling of Javonte. But Pacheco was the running back 14 in points per game. And then he was drafted, like last year, people were drafting him in like the back end of the second in redraft. Like, he is a guy that can produce in the right situation. So all I'm saying is that next year when he's a 10th round pick in redraft leagues, because he's in an ambiguous backfield on a good offense, I'm going to be targeting the hell out of that.
That year was like 3 years ago, though.
Well, when was Javonte's rookie year?
Probably about 3 years ago.
Well, there you go.
But I don't know. I don't think he goes to any situation where he gets a bump than he is now. And what he is now is a running back 3 if you're lucky.
I don't think he gets a bump in value. I think he could go to a place where he would produce to get I think that we could see this exact same situation as what has happened with Javonte. Left for dead, ends up on an offense with not a lot of competition around him. People were saying Miles Sanders was going to be the guy. Miles Sanders has... Who are we going to draft in the Cowboys backfield? Javonte Williams or the guy who has a top 10 running back season to his name? And people were excited about Jaden Blue. And Javonte Williams just broke through all that garbage and ends up being really productive. And I think Pacheco could have a similar career arc, I guess. Not on the Chiefs, though, because I don't think that they bring him back.
Yeah. Anyways, I've want to die inside the more I talk about Pacheco.
I think that's it for running backs.
Last two is Rashad White. Is whatever.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they don't bring him back because I think they'd rather have Sean Tucker there.
He'll be a backup somewhere.
Yeah, he's going to be a backup somewhere. Tyler Allgeier's kind of interesting because I feel like Tyler Algier is actually good. I feel like
1,000 yards as a rookie.
Every single league I have Bijan in, I've bought Tyler Allgeier because if Bijan ever goes down, Tyler Allgeier is like a running back 2 high end. Yeah. So He's super interesting, and I feel like he fits so well in that Falcons. I think they're going to extend him.
That would suck. I mean, you don't want them to do that, though.
No, but I kind of don't mind it because he's like probably the most valuable handcuff running back in the league. But yeah, Tyler Algier is super fun. I think he's an actual good player, and I'm excited if he does go somewhere. He kind of reminds me of Jordan Mason in a way. So I feel like if he finds the right fit where he can take over that power role, I think there's a lot of value to that.
I mean, he kind of showed that he can be a starter in this league, right?
Yeah,
1,000 yards as a rookie. He doesn't really catch the ball at all.
No.
But 1,000 yards as a rookie, he could end up in a committee and be the one who wins out. I mean, we just talked about it, and we see it all the time. Like even Rico Dowdle breaking out in a committee where there is opportunity. And I think the Falcons might not want to extend a backup running back. They might just want to they have Bijan. They're going to give him so much of the work. They might just want to draft a guy.
Yeah.
And Algier could end up in a situation where he has an opportunity. And I think that you're smart to buy him on your Bijan teams, and you might end up just with 2 starting running backs next year.
Yeah. Wide receivers. Wide receivers is fun, but I don't know there's a ton to talk about.
There isn't that much going on. It's kind of George Pickens and then a bunch of bleh.
Okay, we'll fight about this one.
Well, okay. I mean,
with my 101 pick, I'm taking Romeo Dubs because I'm in the business of getting dubs. Anyways, that was a thumbnail right there.
Talk to me about Romeo.
I think he's good. Anyways, what's your 102 pick? I think so. Dubs he's a wide receiver 2 right now. And when he's playing, he's typically put up wide receiver 2 numbers. He's been the most consistent option in that Packers offense. I think he gets extended. I don't think they let him walk because he's currently the only productive wide receiver in that room. In a wide receiver room with, not going to count Christian Watson because Christian Watson has actually been very productive last 2 weeks that he's been healthy. Probably the only 2 weeks he's going to be healthy all year, but we'll take it. Matthew Golden hasn't done anything. Jaden Reed's injured again. And even when he's healthy, it's so hit or miss. Dubs is so consistent, and he's kind of been Jordan Love's go-to guy in every single game this year.
So Dubs is consistent. He's consistently mid.
He's putting up wide receiver 2 numbers. That's valuable.
Okay, so he is...
I'm never feeling upset having to start Romeo Dubs on my team.
Me neither.
Especially as like a wide receiver 3 or a flex option.
I agree. You just said that you don't care about the guys who are putting up running back 3 numbers, right? Romeo Doubs is currently the wide receiver 31 in points per game. He's had 1 game in the top 20 wide receivers. So he's very, very just mid. He had the big game against Dallas where he had 3 receiving touchdowns. He went 6 for 58 in that game. And then this past week, he was 7 for 91. So I think, he's a low-level flex play. And this is in a situation where nobody else on the team is doing anything. And that sort of worries me, where you've had 3 years now to start his career, where his highest points per game total was 10.2 before this season, where he's at 13. So I personally just think he's a jag, and I think wherever he goes, he'll continue to be a guy who maybe you can throw in your flex spot and he'll be a wide receiver 3, and that's fine. I just don't think it's going to win you anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's the last few weeks he's done 30 points by week, 10.5 points, 13 points, 9.5 points, 16 points. As my wide receiver 3 or flex, I'm happy with that. So I'm not saying he's like, he's a wide receiver 1. I think for the value, his cost value, he's a very useful piece for fantasy. He's not exciting. He's not.
No, exactly.
He's not a wide receiver 1. But given his cost versus value, like if I can buy him for a late second, which I think it's very easy to do, I think I'm happy with the production profile I'm getting out of that late second.
Here's how I view Romeo Doubs. I think that he is a guy who you can put in your starting lineup. If I have a contender where I am relying on Romeo Doubs as an every week start, I don't think that team is very good.
Hey, man, he's starting an IDL for me. And you know who's winning an IDL? My team.
Okay, how name the 6 players who are scoring 20 plus points per game on that roster.
Doesn't matter. CMC.
So I think yeah, if you're gonna rotate him as a third flex, then sure. I just don't on most of my teams where I'm trying to win, I would be looking to upgrade him.
He's not going to win you weeks, but he's also not going to lose you weeks. He is not going to be the problem on your team. And
no, because you don't care about him.
As a flex, I'm very happy with that. Just don't put up a goose egg. Don't lose me the week. But anyways, okay. I'm guessing your 1 or 2 is Pickens.
Yeah, let's talk about George Pickens.
He's fun. He's going to get extended.
This is very fun. I think best case scenario is that he gets an extension in Dallas.
Same.
I do not want George Pickens to go to the Browns and be the wide receiver one there. I do not want him
moving again, new system, new quarterback. I think he's fits so well with the Cowboys and fits so well with Dak. I would be upset if he moved.
I don't, and this is the thing. He was never good on the Steelers for fantasy.
He was good, just inconsistent, and I think that speaks more to Russell Wilson than it does to him.
This is a guy who, in 3 years with the Pittsburgh Steelers, finished as the wide receiver in points per game, 45, 35, 38. I was so low on him moving over to Dallas because I was like, this guy just might not be good. And it turns out he is good, and he just needs CeeDee Lamb to take some attention away from the other team, and he needs a high-volume passing attack. He needs Dak, exactly. High-volume passing attack with a good wide receiver ahead of him so that he can be complimentary is the perfect situation for George Pickens.
Yeah.
And with the Cowboys offloading all of this money from not paying Micah Parsons and just sort of being in a bit of a reset mode, I think they have the money to pay George Pickens, and I really hope that they do, because if he goes somewhere else, I would not be excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, he always passed the eye test for me with the Steelers, but Russell Wilson was bad. Play calling was weird. He had no one else to take pressure off of him. And he just tuned out because was the risk of George Pickens this whole time. It's why he fell to the third round. And a lot of people considered him a first round talent, but his attitude just dropped him in the draft. And he has the talent there. He looks so good on the field when he's locked in. But with the Steelers, we saw him just tune out of games. He just didn't care because he has Russell Wilson throwing him the ball. It's it's going to be a bad ball that he's going to have to go up.
Well, and before that, it's
bail him
Kenny
out.
Pickett.
Yeah, so
I
think he is a legitimately good receiver. If I'm a organization and it's between T. Higgins and George Pickens, I'm taking Pickens, and that's kind of a hot take. But they're similar profiles.
I would fight you on that.
But I think Pickens is better in a system where he actually cares and he's actually used and he's involved in the game. He just has to be involved in the game, or else he just tunes out when he's not getting the ball.
Which is so I worry a tiny bit if he moves on. But there are also plenty of situations that he could go to similar to Dallas where I would be happy with him. Imagine on the Giants.
Bring him to the Patriots.
I would hate that. I would hate that.
For fantasy?
I would not be excited about George Pickens on the Patriots.
Why?
Because I think he just gets completely bracketed and there's no outlet for him. Wow, and Mike Vrabel is establish the run, control the clock, don't let your defense get on the field. That is not what George Pickens wants. George Pickens needs a terrible defense on his own team, like the Cowboys have. He needs a quarterback who's going to throw it 40 times a game. Vrabel does not want May to throw it 40 times a game. I would despise that.
I don't think he needs a quarterback to throw it 40 times a game to be productive.
But you just said he needs to be involved in the game plan, right?
If he gets a quality targets, then if he only gets 7 to 8 targets a game that are quality. And no one's better at the deep ball currently than Drake May.
Yeah.
Drake May was good, would be hitting him with dimes, 30 to 40 yard dimes all game. And the offensive weapons in the Patriots aren't as bad. Like Diggs looks decent. Diggs has played decent this year, especially for how much money we're giving him.
Yeah, I mean,
Kayshon Bouttie's been a baller.
Absolutely. We don't need to argue about George Pickens.
Demario Douglas is like
Patriots.
Making 5 guys miss every time he catches the ball.
Yeah, they don't need him. There are 4 names here that if you would like to talk about any of them, we can. I think that it is 4 more Romeo Doubs that I do not care about, and that's Rashid Shaheed, Jawan Jennings, Alec Pierce, and Wan'Dale Robinson.
We talked about Jacoby Myers already.
Yeah, again,
I don't know if he gets an extension with the Jags. He could be a 1-year rental. Wan'Dale Robinson is interesting because he's been kind of decent and he has a very unique slot role there. I'm selling him because currently he's like actually been pretty decent. He's putting up decent flex numbers, just as like a PPR volume guy.
Yeah, so 12.5 points per game.
If I got him, I'm selling him because I want him to stay with the Giants because they drafted him. They know how to use him. Other than that, Jawan Jennings was the big guy who was like, he's balling out last year. He had the 180 yards and 3 touchdowns game, and then held out because he wanted a new contract, and then has had every injury known to man this entire offseason and season. Yeah. So at this point, he's a 28-year-old wide receiver. I think he's
had one good game in his entire career.
Yeah, I think he's kind of toast unless he comes back from injury and actually balls out. But who knows?
He was getting drafted. Obviously, this isn't a redraft pod, but he was getting drafted ahead of Ricky Pearsall in redraft, and I was just like, "What are we doing?"
Did he? I feel like he was pretty decent last year. Not just one good
So
game.
he had the 46-point game, and then he had 3 more games above 13. 4 more games above 13 points. Everything else was bad.
16, 25, 9, 9, 28, 5, 9, 14, 12.
Yeah, just incredibly inconsistent. And then this year, week 2, he was good against the Saints. And then this past week, he had, 4 receptions, but he had a touchdown. So... Yeah. I just think he's a
feel like the 49ers are kind of like just done with him at this point because he made all this think about winning a contract and then just has not been healthy the entire year. So I think it's nothing really to talk about there.
The only other guy that I missed, Debo.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
I kind of think he gets an extension.
Yeah, which would be good. I mean, they need to reload, but also I think that they need younger weapons in that pass catcher core. 29-year-old Terry McLaurin, 30-year-old Debo Samuel, and how old is Zach Ertz?
48 Sinnott, or something.
58. Ben Sinnott isn't 82. Really breaking in. They probably need a younger wide receiver. Debo, he was good with Jaden Daniels this year. Now with Jaden being out and Marcus Mariota coming in, I'm worried about the production. They cannot run the ball. They don't have a good running back. Now with Terry being out, they're just focusing on Debo and it's Marcus Mariota targets. And it's just, it worries me. And his game is not one that will age well. It's a lot of athleticism. It's after the catch. It's being physical. It's all this kind of stuff that will only decline.
I think for fantasy, his value is going to decline, but I think he does get a contract extension just because he does help that team. But
yeah.
Tight ends.
I might try and sell him where I have him, honestly. If most of where I have him is contenders, and I'll try and
with the production of this year, I feel like now's your sell window.
Especially before we see the offense with Mariota, no Terry again. Yeah. See if I can get out. Is there anybody else in the wide receiver room here that you are interested in?
Quickly go through tight ends.
Okay.
Tight ends is kind of fun.
There are some fun ones.
So tight ends, we have Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, David Njoku, Dallas Goedert, Kyle Pitts. Out of this list, obviously Kyle Pitts is my most interesting.
Of course.
He's been, as someone who owns him in like 60% of leagues, desperately hoping he catches on. I have no idea if they sign him to an extension or not. Probably not.
He's been good.
But he's been good this year. And like he's been like kind of the safety valve for Penix, which is what they've been needing.
Well, he's been good for a tight end. Let's be specific. He's been good for a tight end.
Yeah. That's what we're expecting.
But he's not
it's like not expecting.
He's not anywhere close to what we expected of him as a player.
At this point in his career, given the track record, we can't value him like, oh, he was this generational talent. You can't value him like, you can't just keep comparing him to like Bowers. But if he puts up tight end 6 to 8 range, then that's kind of what you're looking for.
Right now he's tight end 12.
Good. So I don't know if he gets, it's going to be interesting to see if he gets a contract extension with them, because it seems like they've been kind of out on him, but he's been playing good and being the safety valve for a quarterback, which they need.
He's finally getting used. Like 7 targets a game is the highest of his career. Darnell Mooney isn't really doing anything.
Yeah.
And so he's pretty much the number 2. If you ignore
Bijan. He's kind
Bijan.
of the 3, yeah, because Bijan's the number 2.
Yeah.
Bijan might be the one.
There. He might be. I mean, yeah, I think Pitts is going to be a solid for years to come. He will be a guy who I think he needs the right situation. But hopefully he finds it. I mean, I think it's fantasy football is more fun when Kyle Pitts is doing well.
Travis Kelce retires. Pitts goes to the Chiefs to be the heir apparent.
Oh my God! Imagine.
Bring it on. I would love it.
Sell.
I feel like the theme of this podcast is anyone goes to the Chiefs, value rise.
I mean, that's kind of how it works. I think we might have to do like an entire Kyle Pitts argue pod if he goes to the Chiefs about whether you should sell him or buy him, because I would be all over getting the value out of that.
The other interesting is Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. It seems like the Ravens, everyone's been saying the Ravens are like, they're going to extend Likely. He's going to be the heir apparent to Mark Andrews. I feel like if that was true, Isaiah Likely would have cut more into Mark Andrews' shares, but Isaiah Likely's done nothing this year. He barely did anything last year outside of the week 1 breakout game. And
yeah, if that never happens, I feel like do we ever talk about him?
No. Like outside of that one game, I feel like he's been pretty quiet. So everyone's saying that like Likely's taking over. I'm not buying Likely anywhere because I just don't think that's true. I don't think he's that great compared to Andrews. Andrews is going to be very interesting because he could also be one where he moves teams and is still productive.
There's enough upside baked into Likely with Andrews potentially leaving that I don't mind him as a buy on like a punt or a rebuilder.
Yeah, but given that narrative, I feel like you have to overpay for Likely everywhere. I feel like no one's selling Likely.
Probably.
Because they're like, oh, I've waited on him for this long. He's finally taking over next year. I'm only selling if it's at a premium. And I'm not willing to pay that premium for him.
Yeah, probably not. I wouldn't either. I think Andrews is interesting if he moves on. He's obviously very talented, and it's so rare that you find these tight ends that are utilized and are a focal point of the offense regardless of the situation. And Andrews just clearly isn't that anymore. He had that 1 year where he was tight end 1, right? And now it's just they don't need him every game, and so he's not going to get used every game. And honestly, somebody who I think might be more interesting than Mark Andrews is David Njoku.
Njoku is very interesting.
I think he is incredibly talented, and I think if he ends up on a better team, I mean, he was great with Jameis last year. Get Njoku a situation where the ball is being thrown about, and he will produce. I really like that.
I personally think Njoku stays with the Browns because
Fannin
plays such a different position than him. Fannin is just a big wide receiver.
Yeah.
So it makes total sense to keep both of them because they play different roles. They both add a different element to the offense. You can run 2 tight end sets out there, and they're both play different enough of a role. They're both a different enough of a weapon. Where I would bet money that Njoku re-signs with the Browns just because Fannin isn't a threat to his role. They're just totally different players.
Yeah. I think.
But that's also not a fun take to have. It's like, yep, he's staying.
I mean, it'll be a new quarterback, right?
Yeah.
And I just don't like that at all. That would suck. Because they're just even if they aren't playing the same position, they're still eating into each other. Like it still makes the other one worse because they're taking targets and
it does make it worse for
else,
Njoku. Right? Fannin's fine, I think. I think it does like they're kind of the same safety valve. So Fannin cuts into Njoku. Yeah. I don't think Njoku cuts into Fannin. But also, you should have sold Njoku when they drafted Fannin. Because it kind of...
Yeah.
That whole situation kind of was like, okay, Fannin's clearly the future for the Browns.
I think I have one Njoku share, and I made sure that I got Fannin in the rookie draft.
Yeah. Because I don't think Njoku's worth very much. Do you have any thoughts on Dallas Goedert?
No.
Same.
All right.
What an engaging podcast.
This is incredible. Yeah, I mean,
incredible
if anybody has a strong opinion on Dallas Goedert, I question what you're doing with your time.
I think he gets a contract extension because he's used pretty constantly there, and I feel like Hurts really likes him as that safety valve.
He's going to be a classic touchdown regression candidate, I think.
Yeah.
He's just getting into the end zone like crazy this year, more than he has ever in his entire career.
Yeah.
He literally has already beat his career best touchdowns by 2. And he's played 7 games.
And that's production you can bet on.
Yeah, there you go. He's running at his second lowest yards per route run of his career.
Yeah.
I think, and then to end us off, Tags has a very fun rapid fire segment.
Welcome to this week's Dust or Bust. Wait,
nice.
Dust and Bust.
Dust and Bust.
This is the section of the podcast where we talk about will they retire or will they not. First up, Aaron Rodgers. That was my best radio voice. How did I do?
It was really good. We just need some air horns.
And, I'll edit some in.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yes, please. That'd be awesome.
I'll talk to the editor.
Go to the mirror.
I'll have flames in the background.
Obviously, coming into the year, he says that he's going to... It's probably his last run. And here's what I was thinking. I was like, you know what? If they get close enough, maybe he thinks, we can do this again. Right? But at 41 years old, committing to an entire another year of football, it's a big thing to do. And I just think in any situation, if they miss the playoffs, I don't think he's going to want to run it back. If they lose in the wild card round, I don't think he's going to want to run it back. If they somehow win a wild card game and then lose in the second round of the playoffs, I think he's just going to be like, you know what, we tried. So no, I think Aaron Rodgers is truly done after this year.
That's interesting because I think he's coming back.
Wow. Okay.
I think the Steelers look like he's been playing pretty good this year. Oh, sorry, I got attacked. Yeah. The spirit of Aaron Rodgers is attacking me. He's looked pretty good this year. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a nightmare with Tomlinson mixed with Aaron Rodgers. Turns out it's been pretty decent. Like, they seem to meld pretty well. Yeah. And their defense is getting old, but they're really good. If they can add a few more weapons on offense, maybe Caleb Johnson finally becomes something. I think they're pretty loaded for a multi-year run. So I could see him, especially if they get a win or two in the playoffs, or even if they just get to the playoffs, play decent. I could see him coming back for another year. And
maybe he's having enough fun where he'll look at another year and say, I could enjoy this. Yes. I can see that outcome.
Yes. So it's an interesting one. Matthew Stafford.
I think he's back.
I think he's back also. But I think we're going to have this conversation every year. So it depends on when you want to sell Stafford, because someone's going to be holding the bag on Stafford. And no one knows if it's going to be this year or the next year or the next year. He's currently on a 1-year deal. That was his choice. His choice was to only be on a 1-year deal because
he wants to play it year to year, which is fair.
Yes, he wants the option to retire when he wants. Which is tough as a dynasty owner to evaluate when to get out of a player.
I think if I'm competing at all, I want to keep him. And if there's any sign of my team not making a run and he's like a rotation guy for me, I'll try and sell him for a second.
Yes.
And if I can't get a second, I don't care.
If you're contending, you just have to accept that you're bag holding.
Which is fine, because I don't think his value is high enough.
If he's productive. And the Rams are going to be good for a while. Yep. They have such a good young team that I could see Stafford staying on because like they're almost a guaranteed playoff team. Mm-hmm. So I think he stays also, but it's going to be interesting to see how teams maneuver around him to be able to gain value. Because he will have a bunch of sell windows, assuming he stays for another year. Mm-hmm. Next up is Mike Evans.
Ugh.
Does he retire now that he's probably not getting 1,000 yards this year?
That'd be such a sad way for it to end. I don't think he retires. I think he comes back to Tampa.
There's no way he gets 1,000 yards this year.
No, I don't think he's coming back until he's like, it's like they said that
he has 860 yards to go, half a season left.
No, it's not happening, and he's not playing. So
yeah.
No, I think Mike Evans does come back.
Him not getting those yards.
It's hard to get yards when you are not playing.
Hot take.
No, I think Mike Evans comes back, and I think he's on the Bucs, and I think he's going to be like current Keenan Allen.
How old is Mike Evans? In terms of,
he's 32. He could be older, you know?
Yeah, he could.
He could be older.
I feel he could be older. He's 32. He did just turn 32, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah.
I think he comes back for one more year, especially since he didn't get the 1,000 yards. I could see him coming back for one more year, get the 1,000 yards, retire. Like,
there you go.
Just to prove that you could have done it this year if you stayed healthy.
He just keeps doing it and not getting it, and he needs to prove. So he's 43 and he's still trying to get his 1,000 yards. Do you have anybody else?
Him out to the field before the game.
Yeah. Is there anybody else for dust and bust?
Kelsey.
I think he's done.
I think he's done also. Keenan Allen.
Dude, have you seen his snap share the past 2 weeks?
Dude, he's been so good. I think he's coming back.
Have you seen his snap share the past 2 weeks?
No.
25 and 37.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's over.
So basically when he's on the field, he is getting targeted. When he's not on the field, which is most of the game. That's crazy
coming into week 8.
I just like plug and play him in my contender league. I only have him in one league. Mm-hmm. And he's just like always in my lineup because I'm like, cool, give me 14 points, champ.
So yeah, the past 2 weeks. So up until week 8, his lowest target total was 7. Past 2 weeks, 5 targets each week, 4 for 44, and then 2 for 41 on 25 and 37% of the snaps.
Wait, is that
Trey Harris?
Does that correlate with Gadsden's?
Gadsden started against Indy, didn't it? Gadsden's first big game. He's had 3 now, hasn't he?
So, yeah,
or maybe 4.
He's just a monster.
Gadsden started against Miami. So Gadsden played 75% of the snaps 2 weeks before Keenan dropped off. It's really Trey Harris, honestly. Trey Harris's snaps have increased a bunch. It's annoying because I am bag holding in the flock league. And
I mean, buying a 32, 33-year-old wide receiver, you just have to expect to be bag holding. But if it gets you a ship, then it's worth it.
But I was literally talking to Badaki last night about Keenan Allen. I was trying to get either RJ Harvey or Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah.
and then we're so close to a deal, and then he goes, "Oh wait, sorry, I didn't see Keenan's snap percentages in the past 2 weeks." And I was like,
tanked it.
No, no. I almost had him. Yeah,
I honestly had no idea because on my contender team, my only league that I have him, I'm just like, cool, go get me 12 points, King.
I'm still gonna try and trade him this week because I know that I'm looking at the snaps because I own him, and if I didn't own him, I wouldn't be looking at the snaps. So like Badaki, maybe somebody else hasn't seen it, but yeah, I do think that Keenan, if this continues, he's probably done.
Yeah. And then I had Zach Ertz because he's like 82 at this point.
Oh my God.
I feel like
my answer is who cares?
I feel like he's just going to like keep on playing. He's just going to get that bag and
just keep
it rolling.
Ben Sinnott.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. But that is this week's Dust and Bust.
Tune in next week for more Dust and Bust, your favorite segment. America's favorite segment.
The people yearn for it.
Yes, they do.
Anyways, this is a little bit of a long episode.
Bit of a long episode. Thanks for sticking with us. Lots of interesting conversations, and we'll do this exact same thing probably in like March when free agency is actually happening. And
especially if people get re-signed. Some people.
I'm excited for our first offseason cycle. That'll be fun.
Oh, it's going to be hype.
It's going to be a good time. Thank you guys very much for listening. Oh, I hooked the pod up to Spotify and Apple. So if you aren't a huge YouTube fan, and if you prefer either of those platforms, the Dynasty Arsenal.
If you like listening to us but don't like looking at us, we got just a thing for you.
Spotify does have video now. They're doing that. I don't know what that's
really
about, but
that's so interesting.
Video. But if you only want to listen to our beautiful voices,
you can just hide your phone. You don't have to watch.
Yeah. So thank you guys very much for listening. We don't know. Once again, we don't know what we're doing next week, but we will find out right when you do. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Later.